In this episode of Nightmare Echoes, Eleazar and Jesse discuss The Devil's Backbone. Covering this after Pan's Labyrinth with Jesse was like a fun double feature, and was excited to get his insight for this movie. Upcoming movies on the podcast are Shaun of the Dead, The Evil Dead, Insidious Chapter 2, and Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. So please subscribe to not miss any of those. If you like us, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, as it helps the podcast to grow. And if you would like to follow us on Instagram, we are at Nightmare Echoes Pod. And if you would like to recommend a movie for us to cover, please email us at nightmareechoespod@gmail.com. Enjoy the episode. Hello everybody, welcome back to Nightmare Echoes. I'm your host Eleazar. I'm joined again by host Jesse. Jesse, how's it going?
It is going somewhere between okay and sensational.
Okay. All right, so what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about The Devil's Backbone, which is a movie not to be confused with The Spine of Satan. No, I'm just kidding.
There's a Western called The Devil's Backbone.
Is there? Okay.
There's a Western, yeah.
All right. I would say this movie is just a no spoilers intro would be that it's about a kid who, during the ending years of the Spanish Civil War, whose father dies, and he winds up in an orphanage in the middle of nowhere, and they're having a rough time because it's the Spanish Civil War. Everybody's poor, and there's lots of kids without fathers, and there's no money to go around, and they have to try to figure out how to survive, and some bad things happen, and it turns out there's also a ghost. Yeah, that's a lot of problems to have to deal with.
Sure. All right, so it came out in 2001, 5 years before Pan's Labyrinth.
Guillermo del Toro.
You say it. There you go. Guillermo del Toro film. He directed it, he wrote it, but there's also writing credits to David Munoz and Antonio Tras Horas. I butchered that, I'm sure. It had a budget of $4.5 million and made a box office of $6.5 million. So nowhere as successful as Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, and I can see why.
Yeah? This one definitely, like as you're talking about how beautiful the other one is, this definitely one has aged, I feel like.
You think it has aged?
I mean, it looks like all grimy and...
Well, it's supposed to, though.
Yeah, okay. All right.
That's the time period that it's set in.
Okay, all right. Do you want to say anything else about it before we go into it, or do you want to just go into it?
No, let's go into it.
Okay, so the movie opens, and we have a voiceover who we learn is Dr. Cáceres. He's talking about what is a ghost. He's asking, is a ghost a tragedy condemned to repeat itself time and time again?
Yeah, he's being all poetic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
His character does read poems the whole thing.
His character is... I'm not as big a fan of poetry, so, not as big a fan, but that's clearly how he's supposed to be appealing as he's into poetry.
And I'm like, no, that's not a ghost. Is it an emotion suspended in time like a blurry photo? Nope, try again.
No, ghost is a dead person. Just letting you know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Well, I won't go over the rest of these questions. We see some quick images. We see a bomb being dropped by a bomber plane. A boy lying on the floor dying. He's bleeding a lot. We see another boy crying by a body of water in underground building of some sorts.
It's kind of weird. It's like a swimming pool.
Right. They call it the pit. But it's like a well, but it goes on forever.
Is it a well?
I don't know. Well, why is it there?
I thought it was a swimming pool. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a cistern.
Could be. Yeah, but I don't think it has if it was a pool, it would have a really close bottom, but it seems to go on for a long, long time.
Does it? That wasn't clear to me.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe you're right.
I thought it did. I mean, I thought they were sinking forever.
It would make more sense for it to be a cistern than a swimming pool. I wouldn't expect a swimming pool in an orphanage in 1940X.
Sure, yeah. A rich orphanage now might have one, but sure.
Yeah, no, it's got to be like a cistern of some kind, or maybe it doesn't matter what it is.
One other voiceover asks if a ghost is an insect trapped in amber. And I was like, no, that's Jurassic Park. That was my comment there. So we get a car driving through the desert. 2 men are driving a boy, and the boy is named Carlos. He's unaware that he's being brought to the orphanage to stay. He passes by people outside, and we get our first glimpse of Jacinto, who's a pretty important character in here, or otherwise I like to call an asshole. And we see inside this courtyard of this orphanage is a big bomb that is just kind of standing there, leaning. They're told that the bomb dropped. It never went off, so they sent people in to dismantle it, and now it'll never explode.
I have to ask, why are bombs really that big? I was surprised by how big.
I think they were in World War II.
Okay.
I thought also we see the bomb. It's got like this pressure point on the tip. that's supposed to tell it when it hits something, I think.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But when it fell in the mud, it like sunk with nothing ever pressing against it.
Got it.
I think that's what stopped it from going off.
Yeah, it didn't hit it hard enough.
I could be completely wrong about Bomb's Anatomy.
I'll buy it.
But that's the way I thought the movie was trying to sell it to me.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
So inside, the adults go inside to talk to Dr. Cáceres and Carmen, who run the orphanage. And Carlos is outside, and he gets to meet the other kids around there. We see that Carmen, right away, she has a prosthetic leg. Outside, Carlos is grabbing a slug and putting it in his bag. He meets these other boys. One's named Galvez, and one, they call him Al. Al doesn't speak, but he sees a lot, is what they tell him. And then Galvez starts asking, do you have any candy or bread? Do you have any fruit, even if it's soft? Like he wants.
Like they're clearly hungry.
They're hungry kids. They let us know right away. He shares that he has comics that he can share for them, but when they're walking away from this building that he was in, we see this ghost. The ghost is watching them as they walk toward the courtyard, and we see it in the reflection, like we're seeing through the ghost's eyes what he's seen. Wow. Or we're seeing our own reflection in the window.
I did not pick up on that for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Well, anytime you see the ghost, there's just like this floating, almost like newspapery, like if newspaper's on fire, kind of just floats there in the air. But it's like all charred and black when the ghost is around.
I think I just didn't pick up on that part.
Okay, all right. Inside the building, Carmen is telling the two men that they don't have enough food for Carlos. They tell him, but he's the son of a friend. He was a very brave man that died in battle. And Carmen says, no, I'm the brave one here taking care of all these kids in the middle of this war. If I'm found out, they're going to kill us all.
This is also when they established they don't have enough food for all the kids.
They don't have enough
That's why
food.
all the kids are hungry.
Right. He says, look, he could either stay here and possibly starve or go out there and be shot right away.
Yeah.
They say that his best chance is in here. Carmen then gives the men 2 pieces of gold for the cause, tells them to buy more weapons. She asks them to take all the gold, and they say, we can't because we're crossing enemy lines and it might get captured, so we don't want to take all the gold.
Yeah.
And they decide to keep Carlos. So we see Jacinto, he blows a whistle, telling all the children it's class time. Galvez is trying to trade a marble for Carlos's comics, even one that was made out of mud and snot that took 6 months to collect enough snot to make this marble. The other one was made in China, he claims. Carlos tells him that he's there with his tutor, Jaime, who comes up to ask him about why he's there. That's who he's telling that. And Jamie says that a tutor is something that's very posh. Like, you must be a rich kid. You have a tutor.
Yeah.
You can tell Jamie doesn't like him right away.
Jaime is a super jerk, right?
He is a super jerk.
He's a bully, obviously. And you don't like him. I think you're supposed to warm up to him later in the movie, but I certainly didn't.
Oh, I did.
Did you?
I did. So, and I think it was the director's concept, right?
I know.
Yeah. So the characters we have that all start with the letter C are Carlos, Carmen, and Cáceres. They're all good guys.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
And then
Jaime, Jacinto,
right, are the villains. And he said the difference is that Jacinto never grew out of being a bully, where Jaime has a change of heart and decides to be a hero towards the end.
Then they should have changed his name.
Well, he's just saying that he had the option, and he did. Okay.
We're going to start calling you Chapo now.
Chapo. Oh my gosh, what does that remind me of? Chopper Sick Balls was the Stand By Me, the railroad track movie.
Oh, I never saw it.
Oh, okay, all right. Anyway, he starts fighting over the comic. He sees that his tutor, Mr. Ayala, puts down Carlos's suitcase and leaves him there. He runs. Jaime calls him a derogatory term. I had to ask my dad for a translation. He's yeah. He goes, I guess it means homosexual.
Yeah.
But it's ruder.
Yes.
Yeah. He goes, and so Carlos grabs the suitcase and runs after them, and he breaks the handle of his suitcase and he starts crying. Carmen says that Dr. Cáceres should go out there because he thinks they'll get along great. And the doctor tries to bond over the comic he sees of the Count of Monte Cristo, asking, hey, have you made it to this part? Have you made it to this part? She's like ruining the whole thing.
Yeah,
they made it to this part. He's like, no, I barely hit this part.
He's like, stop it.
Oh, it's really funny. Inside, the doctor's fixed the suitcase. He's sewing it back together, and he's telling about the classes they have. Carlos wants to know why he's left there. He tells him he's just going to be staying there for a while. He just needs to be patient. He calls him Carlitos, which I think is cute. It's like little Carlos. So I started calling all my kids. I was like, Jashitos, which is funny. They're like, why are you calling me that?
Jacksonito doesn't sound right.
I said Jackitos.
Okay.
I just shortened it. And then I said Jaspitos.
My brain was going to Jaxiton, but that doesn't. It's not quite right.
Jaxiton. That's funny. We get Carmen showing Carlos his new bed. He's been given bed number 12. She gives him linens and a bar of soap. It's a massive bar of soap, but she tells him it has to last the whole year. If he loses it or misplaces it or doesn't last the whole year, he's going to get 2 weeks of chores to get another one.
And I thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, well, I thought suddenly this massive bar of soap that I thought was massive was like, well, maybe it's not so big anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, a year.
First of all, that, but I mean, I was just thinking like, surely that's gonna be a plot point.
I thought Jaime would have stolen it. Like, oh, here's a bar of soap for me.
And they never brought the stupid bar of soap up again.
He smells it again later, but that's it.
I think the whole point of that scene was just, this is how desperate they are.
Yeah.
They got nothing.
Sure. Carlos asks why so many beds are empty, and Carmen tells him that some of the boys have run away, but she wouldn't advise it because it's a mile walk into town. She seems to grow concerned over the keys on her key ring here, as she's giving him his key to his locker. She looks like she's counting them and the count's coming up wrong, which I thought was interesting because we learned like Jacinto has been stealing the keys.
Oh, I interpreted that scene totally differently.
Well, on second viewing, that's where she was looking at the keys and she was like, something's wrong. What did you think?
Oh, I thought, because the next line she says is, she turns to him and kind of smiles and says, this isn't a prison, right? And she hands him the key.
Yeah.
One of the key to his locker. And that was, the way I thought was her there with the ring of keys, she realized it looked like she was a jailer holding all the kids, especially after what she just said, that nobody should run away. And then she realizes, oh, no, that's not what this is. I'm telling you and the audience that this is not a prison. We're not bad people. We're really just trying to help.
I can see both regions of that then.
Yeah.
Because we do see later in the movie that Jacinto is stealing the keys to try to open the safe throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just then the other boys run in and they're shocked that he's given number 12 because that was Sante's old bed, and Jaime tells him to shut up.
Yeah.
Like, don't talk about that. We see Jacinto and 2 other men working. They're eating a late dinner and Conchita walks in to clean up their plates. One of the men, who I think's name is Pig, he's like Pig and I, like one says like
it's
Pig
a
and I.
nickname, yeah.
Yeah, right. I never caught their names.
Oh, they probably only referred to him by nickname.
Right. Jacinto is complaining about the living situation, and the other 2 men are like, I don't know, I think you have it good. You're away from the war, you're fed, you're housed, you live here for free. I don't know why you're complaining. It's hard times out there. It's a war.
Once again, illustrating what an absolutely ungrateful jerk this dude is.
He is such an ungrateful jerk. And they ask what could be better. Conchita answers their question by saying Granada, and they want to know what's in Granada, and she answers that her and Jacinto are going to get married and buy a farm in Granada.
They mean like the Caribbean island, right? Is that what they mean?
I just know it's a faraway place.
Yeah, but I think they're referring to like isn't that right? The island in the Caribbean. I think that's what they're referring.
You can totally look it up. I don't know.
I don't know if there's another Granada. I'm just nope. It's in Spain.
Okay,
my bad.
As they're leaving, Jacinto tells the men that the school has gold. They reply, "Yeah, that's why we eat so well. The school has too much gold."
Yeah,
like they don't believe him at all.
Well, it's because they're not going to use it for that.
Right.
And I think they also can't, because gold isn't the best currency, it's
not like you're going to get exact change.
Exactly. And how do you even sell it? You'd have to have a contact.
Yeah. I mean, a modern day, I would go to some jeweler and see hey, is there somewhere I could sell a lot of gold?
Right. But it would probably raise suspicions.
It would.
And plus this is,
wartime.
Wartime. It's
exactly.
Chaos.
Yeah. Oh, completely. We see that Jacinto has 2 of the keys from Carmen's key ring, and he's going to try to use these 2 keys tonight. As soon as they ask Jacinto if he has a cigarette, he says no. He waits for them to drive away, and then he lights a cigarette. But I get it. It's wartime. It's not like he can get a lot of cigarettes. Whatever he has, he has.
Sure.
Conchita says that she doesn't like those 2, and Jacinto says that he doesn't like this place. He grew up there as a kid. He spent 15 years there. He always dreamt of becoming rich, buying it, and then burning it down. What an idiot. What a waste of money.
Yeah, really. I can understand he has bad memories of it.
Sure.
But I think it's just unfortunate he's just going to take it out on the kids,
Right. The actor says that his inspiration was that he was bullied during the time when he was a kid, and he just learned that behavior and never grew out of bullying.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Jacinto says they should go inside because it's getting cold. And as they walk, we see that Carmen is watching them from across the courtyard, and she looks worried. She's holding the key ring in one of their hands. Mm-hmm. That night, Carlos can't sleep, and he looks to his right, and he sees the word Santi has been carved into the wood right next to him. He says it aloud, and then he hears something when he says the word Santi. He sees a shadow on the other side of the partition, but he moves it away. There's no one there. He looks under the sheets, like someone's going to be hiding under the sheets. Then he looks under the bed. Then a pitcher of water on that bed is knocked over. I believed the first one I thought, oh, maybe he hit the bed, he knocked it over. But then one across the room falls and pitches over. So he goes there to investigate. When he looks at the picture, he sees steps walking away that are trailing water. The other kids wake up and ask what's going on. Jaime blames Carlos for spilling all their water.
And therefore, oh, you got to go and get some more, even though it's against the rules.
Right.
But he very cleverly, he handles that so cleverly. I was in awe. I was like, I would never have thought of that.
Yeah, he goes, oh, well, if I'm going to go, you got to go with me. There's 2 pitchers.
Unless you're scared. He spins it around on him. Like, I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, that's genius. It is genius. So Jaime says no one's ever been caught before. And another kid asks, what about the one who sighs? And Jamie ignores this question. And Carlos asks if he's going or not. And Carlos wants to know who's the one who sighs is, but they don't answer him. We see the boys open the window and they're all watched from the inside as the 2 make their way across the courtyard. As they approach the bomb, Jaime tells Carlos that he believes the bomb is still alive. If he were to put his ear against it, he could hear it ticking. As he does this, Conchenta arrives in the courtyard and they both use the bomb to hide behind.
And I thought the implication was the ticking that he was hearing was like just the metal expanding and contracting, because the temperature swings a lot from day to night. So anything metal's going to creak and tick throughout the day to some extent.
I thought it was cool, but it's something that Carlos wouldn't know what was going on, and it might actually terrify him.
But it also, they also seem to imply later on that maybe there is something supernatural going on with the bomb, but it's very unclear.
They do. Vague. He kind of prays to the bomb later.
But it's never clear. It's never made clear, which I like. I like the vagueness of that.
Sure. And then the 2 boys kind of follow Conchenta. She sees inside that Jacinto and Conchenta are making out. Jaime looks annoyed at this. He tells Carlos to come on, let's go to the kitchen. When do they get to the kitchen? They have to squeeze through the door because it's chained. They go through. Jaime fills his jug first. And as Carlos is filling his jug, things start crashing down. This alerts Jacinto, who grabs a shotgun, and while muttering no one's ever been caught, he runs and hides. He's like no one's ever been caught. He's so annoyed.
Oh right. They told him nobody's been caught, but clearly he's about to get caught.
Right. So Jaime's already made it outside. Jacinto comes in, starts investigating the kitchen. He uses a lantern to light a cigarette, and since he's there, he starts working on removing a piece of the wall, and this reveals the safe behind it. He kind of prays to the keys, let these be the right ones. He tries one and he tries the other, and they don't work.
Thus establishing Jacinto is trying to get the gold from the safe.
Exactly.
That is his goal, and how he's going to get to be all comfortable and rich in Granada.
Yeah, it's his only motivation in life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Outside, we see Jaime hiding behind the bomb again. Jacinto takes one last drag on a cigarette and throws it on the ground. That cigarette was only halfway used. It is wartime. You're not going to get a lot of cigarettes. Right. Why didn't he save it? He didn't even crush it. I think Jaime grabs his cigarette because we see him smoking in scenes later.
Oh, okay.
I think he's always picking up after Jacinto's cigarettes.
That seems in character for him.
Yeah, completely. So Carlos climbs out of his hiding place, careful with the drug. Back in the kitchen, he hears whispers down the stairway. He calls out hello. He makes his way down there, and it's kind of looks like a sort of catacombs area, but this is where the body of water is. The characters call it the pit. The ghost runs by Carlos. He asks who it is, and we see the character who we know is Santi. Carlos follows it.
We know later that he's Santi.
Oh, sure.
They haven't established it yet.
Yeah, that's true. Carlos follows it, and then he's grabbed from behind by the ghost. Carlos sees blood floating in the air, and he's able to actually touch it.
So this scene, to me, this is 15 minutes into the movie.
Okay.
And this, to me, is the first interesting thing that happens. This is a slow movie.
Sure.
And I want to point out that, the ghost is kind of pretty.
Yeah.
Nothing else is
pretty in a morbid way.
Yeah, I suppose just the way that the effect, the way his skin is,
the effects are done well.
He looks like porcelain, like shattered porcelain.
So the director wanted all his scenes to be filmed walking backwards, and then he was going to rewind the footage later, and then after a couple of times he realized that was going to take way too long. He's like, never mind, just film it regular.
Right.
Which is interesting. But I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying
it's a slow burn.
It is a slow movie.
Right.
Oh, and also, I did not find this scene particularly scary. Okay. I feel like it could have been, but they were too close to safety, and the ghost just wasn't that threatening, and he was too pretty.
Sure. I think the director wanted us to not view the ghost as evil, but the humans as evil.
Well, he succeeded.
Yeah.
And because of that, if you're scared of anything, you're scared of Jacinto, but at this point, I feel like we don't know how depraved he is yet.
We don't yet. Yeah.
So I'm not that scared of him. I'm not scared of anything at this point in the movie.
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. Carlos hears the whisper, "Many of you will die." And this scares him into running.
Yeah.
Carlos grabs the jug, but now that Jacinto is back, he retied the door tighter than it was before, and he can't get out. He seems to take off his shirt, push through because I guess he's a little bit thinner without the shirt. He reaches back for the jug. The ghost is walking up to him. It almost gets to him as he's able to pull the jug across. He's outside. I think Jaime is smoking that cigarette right there. But as soon as he gets out, he runs inside the building. And then as he's halfway across the courtyard, you see 3 kids with slingshots at the window. One lets loose, shatters the jug.
I can't understand why they did that. Like, what a dick move.
That's what they're doing. They're just bullying him. Jacinto runs out asking what's he doing. He's broken the glass. He's there. They left him there for himself, so he's in trouble.
And by the way, I think the reason that he took his shirt off was to avoid it getting caught on the door.
Like the buttons.
Or whatever, yeah.
But he left it in the end.
Yeah.
He's not carrying it when he's carrying the jug.
Right.
He got caught anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It just really made me, like, the characters, a lot of the characters are so hateable in this movie.
Sure.
Like, I hated everything by this point. Like, I'm just like, the situation sucks. The place sucks. I feel like there's no hope for any of the characters, and the kids are jerks, you know, and like, oh, what an awful, awful place.
Sure. We have a small scene where Dr. Casares is listening to music and reciting poetry, while Carmen on the other side of his wall is putting on her prosthetic leg, but she can hear him reading his poetry and she likes it. The boys are in the kitchen and Conchita is giving them all, I don't know if it was a pill or a piece of food, but she refers to it as a grain of strength.
I don't know what that was.
She puts it in each of their mouths, like she couldn't hand it to them.
I don't know what that. I was really. I didn't
supposed to be
understand
vitamins. I don't know, or a bean. I don't know what it was.
I was wondering the whole time.
The doctor's interrogating Carlos, asking him if he's going to tell him who the other boys, and he keeps saying, "I was alone." He's like, "Tell me the other boys' names." He's like, "No, I was alone." And the other boys are debating whether or not they're going to, give it up.
So I think there's a lot of Catholic themes in this movie.
Sure.
And one of those is
guilt?
the ritualistic saying a grain of strength before putting the grain in people's mouths. It's like the body of Christ.
Okay,
right? Like
I could
some
see
sort
that.
of weird communion. I don't understand what that means or where it comes from, but it felt very Catholic to me.
I could see that. So the doctor figures out a plan. He's going to tell them to go back to eat. And because the boys are all hungry, while they all are interested in what happened, they want to know who's going to get in trouble, they care more about eating, except for those kids that are worried they're going to be in trouble. And so he says the first one to look up is going to be the one that was involved, and 4 kids, of course, look up. So the doctor calls Marcos, Galvez, Jaime, Al, report to me. And so they all get punishments. Galvez and Al believe that Carlos didn't rat on them, but Jaime seems to believe that he did. That's the only way he figured it out. While outside, Jacinto and Conchita are fixing a radio. I think they're just outside to watch the boys do their chores, but they're out putting religious symbols everywhere. They put Jesus on a cross outside. They're taking off like paintings inside and putting up more religious paintings in their place. And they're commenting on the state of Spain, that if they were to get found, they need to look as religious as possible.
That's right. I mean, Francoist Spain was very, very, like, they emphasized Catholicism. Franco's regime, like, super emphasized Catholicism as their source of legitimacy, and like how, oh, look how much power and authority and money and everything we're giving to the church. Yeah. Afterward, there were claims that like the clergy were actually really unhappy with the way they were being treated under Franco, but he wanted to create the image of being the defender of the Catholic faith. So that's why they're like, if we can look really Catholic, then we'll look like we're on the fascist side.
We have a scene where Carlos asks Galvez why he didn't fire his slingshot. He said he didn't want to, so he gives them a toy frog as like a reward that he brought with him. Then Carlos walks down by the water, and he's asking questions of the ghost. And while he's doing that, Jaime comes up to the 2 others and asks where they see the frog, and he asks where Carlos is, and he tells them that where he went. And then so they grab Carlos. Well, the kid named Marcus grabs Carlos, and Jaime tells him to throw him to the ground. Jaime pulls out a pocket knife, pulls out the actual blade, and Carlos, I thought he was very quick-witted here, grabs a piece of metal and throws it at his face and knocks him into the water. Then decides, they yell, he can't swim, so Carlos goes in, actually pulls him out of the water and saves him, which I think starts winning him over onto his side. Like, okay, I'm an asshole to you, but you saved my life.
I think what wins him over is in the next scene where Jacinto comes in in, and he says, "Oh, it's my knife."
Oh yeah, man. And he cuts his face, man.
Yeah.
He says, if anything happens to you, I get blamed for it. He cuts his face, Carlos's face. What a dick.
And I feel like this is another thing in that sort of Catholic or Christian theme, the kind of self-sacrifice thing.
Sure.
Like there's a lot of that in this movie, a lot of the self-sacrifice.
Sure, but I see it more as like he's trying to prove to the people he's not turning people in. Like, I think Jaime still believed he told the doctor who was involved, even though he didn't, because the doctor was quick-witted to figure out who was involved. But here he shows, look, I'll take the blame. I'm not going to report you.
So I had a hard time. I agree that that's what he was maybe, trying to do or whatever. But if they were trying to show that he had won Jaime over, I wasn't really picking up on that. Now, I don't have very good social skills, so I may have just entirely missed whatever subtle signals there were, but he still seemed to be a dick after that.
Yeah, he gets there. He comes around a little bit, slowly.
It was a little too subtle for me. I think I wasn't really picking up on that.
Okay. So then we have where the doctor's cleaning up Carlos's face, his wound from the cut. Carlos tells him he thinks he saw a ghost, and the doctor says he's a man of science. And this is where we get the title of the movie. He shows them these jars of babies with defects. Their spine is exposed to their back. He calls it the devil's backbone. He's saying superstition, but he has liquid in there, which he calls limbo water, which is close to rum. And this rum ferments with the fetus of a child inside of it, and he sells it because people believe that it's like magic. The unborn fetus in this rum cooking is like magic, and it cures certain ailments, and one of those being impotency.
Yeah.
And he says that he sells it in town and that people buy it because they'll believe in anything. And once you're 60, you'll do anything for the little bit of lift.
I don't understand. I don't understand the point of this scene or why the movie is named after a birth defect of a baby in a jar. I couldn't
So it wasn't originally. It was going to be named after a certain landmark in the United States. And then when it was moved to Spain, he had to come up with a new title because this landmark in the United States was called the Devil's Backbone.
Yeah.
Which I think is in that Western.
They didn't come up with a new title. He came up with a new explanation for the title.
And that was this.
But it didn't make sense.
It was gross.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
And then the doctor drinks the liquid. He offers it to Carlos. Carlos is like, no. He's like, you could either, if you're going to believe in ghosts, you might as well drink this stuff and believe that this is a magical cure and it'll cure your face.
He's trying to tell him he shouldn't believe in supernatural things. Right. But then he himself is being a total, apparently either he himself is being a total hypocrite or he just really wants some rum and doesn't give a crap what.
It's gross. Yes, you're right.
To me, that scene didn't fit with the rest of the movie, and the fact that it was the source of the title bothered me, so I don't understand it.
Okay. So the next scene, I think, is where we're supposed to see that Jaime is now his friend. It's night. They wake him up. He starts to scream, thinking he's about to get beat up, and Jaime tells him, he covers him out, says, don't worry, I'm not going to hit you. He asks for him to bring his books, and the boys want to hang out with him. So Jaime's kind of in the corner, smoking that cigarette, and the other boys are reading comic books. Jaime comes over and shows him a drawing he did of a naked woman. Marcus points out the vagina's the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And he's like, how would you know? And he tells him that he wants to trade him this cigar ring that he has. It's like the slip cover that's on a cigar.
Yeah.
When you first get it to show it's brand new, I guess, or the company logo. And he says, no, but I'll give it to you if you give me my comic book back. And he says, yeah, but I have to get out of my locker, so I'll get to you later. So they make a deal. Yeah. That's how he's going to get it back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's supposed to be him being nice, but it just, I don't know. It didn't seem like much.
Yeah, then he kind of leaves the group and they start talking about the ghost. They're hearing the sighs, and some boys say they hear it as well. They start talking about how that the boy Sante disappeared the same night the missile dropped, and that the teachers believed that chased him away, that he was scared of the bomb, so he ran away from the place. But that Jaime was out that same night, and some of the boys believe that Jaime killed Sante.
Yeah.
And he's down the hall, like, listening in, but they can't tell that he's still around.
There was also a remark about that ever since Santi died, Jaime's been uncontrollable.
Okay.
That, like, Santi was the one keeping him in check somehow because they were friends, right?
That could be it, yeah.
They said something like that at some point.
Carlos hears what he thinks are sighs, and he walks down the hall to investigate. But what we find is actually Jacinto on top of Carmen, having sex with Carmen. And those are the happy sighs.
Yeah, the one who sighs is Carmen.
Right.
Which it's really, when you first see it, you're like, well, that's really weird.
It is really weird.
because he's such a jerk and she cares about the kids so much and is, you know, all of that. And she's the one who's keeping the gold and she's also an old woman and he's, you know, like they don't, but then they kind of explain it and they kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I can see it, right? Because she feels guilty about it.
She does. She because to her, he's that little boy that she raised and now he's a grown man and she needs him.
But also she's like, I guess proper boyfriend is really the doctor.
But they're never established anything.
I guess so, but I felt like there was still a feeling like she was cheating on him at some level, even if it's only like vaguely.
Yeah, I mean, he feels for her. He says the doctor will read you this poetry, but it's me. It's you need my penis is basically what he said.
Yeah.
The doctor's too old to do anything for you, so you need me. And she's like, this is the last time.
Oh, that's why
and
he drank the rum. Now that makes more sense. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but she says this is the last time. And he goes, this is the last time. You always say this is the last time. You're a broken record. And she's like, well, I'm ashamed. He's like, you're ashamed of me? Like, he gets all mad about it.
Yeah.
But when he's doing this, he's slipping the keys that he stole back onto the key ring and taking new keys to try out that night.
Right, that's the whole reason he's doing it.
Right, which is crazy. I think the doctor hears them on the other side of the wall.
He definitely does.
Yeah.
I mean, that was very clearly established. Like I said, that's why he's drinking the rum, right? He wants to be able to fill her desires because he's clearly in love with her.
Yeah. All right. So the next day, the boys are working on loading some barrels into the truck. The doctor hands some alcohol bottles to the boys, and he kind of yells at Jacinto, like, "Hey, don't break those. Those are important." And Jacinto's like, "What did I do? Like, why are you mad at me?" And he doesn't know why. Jaime's loading gasoline into the truck when Conchita walks by, and Jaime gives her the ring from a cigar, saying, "Hey, I found this. It looks really pretty, and I wanted to give it to you." Jacinto sees it, and he says, "Go open the gate." Jaime's still talking to Conchita, and he tells her it's not real gold, and she's like, "To me, it is. It's really pretty."
Aww.
Yeah, and then again, Jacinto's like, "Hey, go open the gate." So he runs to go open the gate, and he asks, Jacinto asks Conchita what that was about, and she's like, "It's kid stuff. You wouldn't get it." Like, she's just being nice to the kid, you know. She even gave him a peck on the cheek, which I think really made the other guy mad. We have like our only classroom scene here where we learn about mammoths. If there's a lesson to be learned, she's talking about working together as a team and never giving up, which I guess is important to the end. But I felt like the classroom scene didn't really do too much.
Well, it does make sense with the end. The idea that altogether you can beat something much bigger than you.
Right, exactly. That night, Carlos gets up and goes into Jaime's locker. Inside that frog toy almost goes off, which would have woke him up. But he's able to stop it, and he's able to get his drawing notebook out, and he sees in there the drawings of Santi's death.
Yeah, so he knows now that Jaime saw Santi die.
Right, but he thinks he did it.
He does, but all it really tells him is that he saw it.
Yeah. In town, the doctor is trading goods, and he sees several people captured by authorities. There's 9 of them. One comments that one of them is a Chinaman, but what's a Chinaman doing here anyway? So it almost sounds like, well, he needs to die just because he's in the wrong country during a war. What an idiot.
But he was like, weren't they saying he was fighting with the rebels though?
Well, they don't know that. They're saying that they've captured 9 rebels. They're not. I don't know what evidence they had. All they've done is lined them up against the wall and they're shooting them all.
Okay, yeah, I didn't pick up on that.
Whether or not they're guilty, I don't know. But the doctor looks really worried, and we find out the next day that he actually did know one of them, and it's one of them that knows about the orphanages, which is why he tells Carmen the next day that the state of the country is getting bad. They captured the guy that knows me, or that knows about the orphanage, and you need to pack up and go. Outside in the courtyard, this is where Carlos kind of praised the bomb, asking it to lead him to Santi. One of the ribbon comes off of the bomb and blows in the direction. He leads him right to Santi, and he asks him, "Talk to me," which is a good movie. Which you haven't seen yet, so I won't talk about.
Okay.
Santi says again, many of them will die. When Santi turns around, he sees blood coming out of the spot, floating his head into the air, and then Carlos gets scared and runs away again. Like, why'd you follow him and find him if you're just going to run away again?
I felt the same way. I was like, you were up to this point, you seemed brave, and now for no reason at all, suddenly you're not. Also, I wish when I had wounds that they looked that pretty. that the blood would just flit away and poetically into the sky.
Then people would know you're an alien.
Yeah, I mean, okay. That's fine.
Okay, all right. So back in the hall, like he ran. Now he ran to where their dorm is. Now he sees Santi walking down the hall. Carlos is running, trying to open doors. He opens the door to a linen closet. He jumps in and he's holding the door handle, and Santi's trying to open it and he can't. And when he stops pulling on it, he puts his eye over the eye hole, and then he sees Santi's eye looking right back at his eye. It scares him and he starts holding it as Santi's banging on the door, and he kind of falls asleep there. He wakes up in the morning. One of the other teachers, Alma, is going there to put away sheets, and when she opens the door, he screams like crazy in her face and runs down the hall, and the other boys are looking like, what?
You wouldn't think he would still be afraid after sleeping it off, but in fact, I don't know why he was afraid. I guess the scene was supposed to be scary. It wasn't scary to me because I never thought of Santi as a bad guy, and I didn't understand why Carlos was running away.
Yeah.
And again, like, there are some scary scenes later in the movie, but so far nothing's been scary.
So later at breakfast, Alma's giving out letters to the boys who are receiving letters still. Jacinto walks in. He uses the knife that he's now gotten to stab an apple and uses the apple to bite it. This reminds me of Firefly. Do you remember Firefly? There's this big discussion how the captain, the pilot's wife, the second in command, always stab their apples before eating it.
No, I don't.
There's like this whole...
It's been too long.
I gotcha. Well, there's a whole scene where they were starving at wartime, and they asked the enemies if they have any spare food. And so they started lobbing, like 30 minutes later, they lobbed over all these apples, and they were trying to warn them, do not bite those apples. And they were so hungry, the soldiers started biting them, and then their heads exploded. So from then on, the rest of their lives, they stab an apple before eating to make sure there's nothing foreign in there that they shouldn't be in there before eating the apple. I just thought, it reminded me of Firefly. It was interesting. But this is where the doctor tells Carmen, I want to tell you something, but I want the boys to hear it. He convinces her to go. He wants them to take, the doctor wants her to take the gold with her to pay for their way. And she says, no, that's for the cause. Cochinta walks in the room and says, hey, the boys are waiting for permission to eat breakfast. So the doctor goes to give him permission. And this is where...
The idea of permission to eat breakfast is so
right.
so regimented. It's kind of fun.
Definitely different, yeah. So Carmen says that she needs to get some papers. She's going to get some papers. And she goes into the safe. Jacinto walks up and he's like, you're leaving? Were you planning to take me with you? He sees the gold right across from her and he says, you can leave, but the gold stays. And she says, is that all you care about is the gold?
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely... He has no problem agreeing with that. He's like, yeah.
You think I care about your old shriveled?
Right. He's like, Carmen tells him, of all those years, you were the sad kid. He demands the key and keeps arguing. Jacinto grabs her hand and the doctor speaks up saying to stop or we'll shoot him. And you turn around and you see that the doctor has the shotgun in his hand. So Jacinto tells the doctor, while you're whispering sweet nothings to Carmen, I'm the one that has to fuck her. It's just like messed up. And that moment, Carmen slaps him and sends him to the ground. I mean, that old woman just...
Yeah.
beat the crap out of him. It was awesome. Everybody escorts him off the orphanage and they watch as he walks away in the desert, which sucks because he's going to come back.
Yeah.
Then they all start packing and getting ready to go. Jaime asks Carlos what he saw, and he says he saw Sante and follows up the question with, he's dead, isn't he? The children are loading the truck, and the doctor asks Cochinta to get a few gas cans for the road. Inside, she finds one gas can that is empty and that it shouldn't be, and then she notices the gate is open. She walks outside to look around. She grabs the shotgun, and when she goes inside, she sees that Jacinto is there pouring gasoline all around the safe, and he's ready to blow everything up to get this gold.
It was certainly helpful of him to take his first empty can and put it back outside with the other cans so that she could notice that the can was empty.
You know, he's not in his right mind. Maybe part of him was still thinking, oh yeah, these go here. I've worked here for 15 years. I know the gas cans go here. When they're empty, they go here.
I'll buy that.
That's funny. Like habitual. Yeah, that's awesome. He tells Conchita, though, like, where do you think we were going to get this farm from? You think someone was just going to give us a farm when we got there? We obviously need this gold to have the life we want. She has the gun on him. He swats it away. He's like, you're not going to shoot me. He swats it away. And the third time he goes to swat it, he hits it hard enough that the gun actually goes off, or at a reaction, her finger pulls it, whatever. He gets shot in the shoulder. But then he was smoking a cigarette. He gets so mad. He gets the cigarette. He starts blowing on it to ignite the ember on it. He throws it into the gasoline, and then that's where the big fire starts.
He clearly does it on purpose, though.
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah. He does it. Yeah.
It wasn't like an accident.
No. Yeah, that's why he was blowing the ember,
right?
So that they would have enough flame to ignite the gasoline. Yeah. People are going crazy. Alma goes in to try to put out the fire. It's surrounded by gas cans, and Carmen's trying to pull her away. Like, look, it's surrounded by gas cans. Like, get out of here.
And they're doing the stupid thing, which makes me so mad, that so many people do, where they like try to fan fire to put it out. Like, they don't understand understand how fire works, or they're trying to like
this is
beat
a common
it with something.
thing with movies we watch with you.
Oh God, it makes me crazy. This idea that you can just beat up fire and it'll go away. I've seen it in real life. People do this in real life.
It's probably because of what a movies show.
I know. I don't understand how you can think that's how fire works. Like the one dude in that Japanese video who like he was a streamer, right? And he doesn't notice that he's thrown out something that has caught fire, and his followers are like paying money to do the the speak thing where you speak over the video just to tell you behind you like freaking and he doesn't understand at first. He turns and so he's got this big flaming bag of trash, and sure enough, right, he grabs like some things and he's like beating it with things, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing? Like someone in the comments of this video was like, why don't you just get that towel, soak it in water, and throw it over it? Problem solved.
Yeah.
And like and he burned down his entire apartment.
Man.
Just PSA to anyone listening to this podcast right now. You can't beat up fire. You have to smother it, like keep something over it. Don't lift it up again and then put it down again. It doesn't make any sense. You smother it with something, preferably something wet.
Got it. Yeah. All right. So when the explosion happens, Carmen, Alma, and at least 4 students are in the building when it explodes. The doctor's right outside the building trying to go in, and he's thrown back in the explosion. He wakes up in the aftermath. He can't really hear anything. Conchenta is trying to tell him something, but he can't hear. He follows in the direction she pointed. He goes inside and finds many dead people, and Carmen is there barely holding on to life. Carlos follows him inside, and the doctor pulls a piece out of her chest, and the blood starts flowing, and he orders Carlos to go get his bag from his lab as fast as he can.
Probably shouldn't have pulled it out.
He shouldn't have pulled it out. He's a doctor.
How does he not know any better?
I don't know, but as soon as he pulled it out, blood started spurting. Yeah. And it was near where her heart is.
Yeah.
Carmen's trying to tell the doctor something important. Probably,
why did you pull that out? Sorry. No.
Yeah, I was thinking, I moved the gold.
Yeah.
But he says he can't hear it anyway, and he wants to do the talking. He learned a new poem, and he recites it as she dies. The doctor recovers the shotgun.
Another very dark, bleak, sad scene.
Oh, completely. The doctor recovers the shotgun, walks outside, and Carlos follows him up to the room where he goes to a window and he waits with his shotgun because he knows Jacinto's going to return. He instructs Carlos to bring him his records because he wants to listen to his music, and we see that after he sent the kids away, he knows that he's bleeding more than is okay. The boys that have survived have all put their beds together. They're asking about how hungry they are, and one jokes about beings. Beings are the musical fruit, and more you eat, the more you toot, kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know how they say it in Spanish, but it was funny. I was like, I've taught my kids that one.
That's good. They should know.
I know, right? Jaime asks Carlos if he thinks he can kill someone. Jaime thinks he can. He says that what they say about Santi is true. He is dead, but I'm not the one to kill him. And then Jaime walks him through the story of the night that he had dared Santi to go down to the pit to gather slugs with him. And while he was down there, Santi heard something. He walks upstairs to see Jacinto trying to open the safe. Santi runs, and he has enough time to warn Jaime to get out of the way. They clean up their mess, but Santi is still there when Jacinto gets down. He starts to interrogate him, ask what he heard. He goes, "Did you see the safe?" "Well, dummy, if he didn't see the safe, you just told him about the safe." Like, either way, he grabs them, he shoves him against the wall. It burst his head open, so he's bleeding on the ground, shaking. He's in convulsions. Jacinto tells Santi to get up, but he doesn't, so he goes to grab some rope. While he's grabbing rope, Jaime comes out. He's crying over his friend, and then he hides again before Jacinto gets back. Jacinto ties some rope around him. He's not dead yet. He's still convulsing. He throws him into the water, and when he's in the water, we see blood come up and his last air bubbles come up. And now in the past, this is where he actually died, in the water.
And you didn't mention in that earlier scene, way near the beginning of the movie, where he falls into the water, where Carlos goes after Jaime in the water to rescue him. They bump into Santi's body.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Santi's still in there.
I didn't know his body was that. I didn't see. Maybe it's not as deep as I thought it was then.
Yeah, no, Santi's body was right. They didn't see it, but from the way the camera was, you see them come up onto Santi's body and then go away.
I thought it was his ghost, I guess.
It may have been. Okay. I thought it was the body.
I think, but that makes sense then. That makes sense. So then afterwards, Jaime approaches the water. He starts crying for it. Crying above the water. There's nothing he can do about it. He couldn't jump in to save him if he tried because he can't swim. Outside in the courtyard, Jaime's out there when the planes are coming overhead. This is where the bomb drops right in front of him. The bomb, instead of colliding with hard ground, sinks right into the mud. And then we cut back to Jaime telling Carlos that he felt like he was a coward at the time, but next time he sees Jacinto, he's going to kill him. Conchenta told Jaime that she's going to try to walk into town, and she shows him that she still has the ring on her finger.
Yeah.
A little bit later, she's still walking. She comes across a vehicle. She's excited. She weighs it down, only to realize it's the two associates of Jacinto, and Jacinto's actually in the back. He tells her, if you apologize, I'll let you back in the truck. And she says, I'm not scared of you. He pulls out the knife. She still says, I'm not scared of you. He says that she's embarrassing him, and she calls him an animal, and then he stabs her and leaves her there on the side of the road.
A good example of just, she's very brave and morally righteous, and it's completely pointless because she just gets killed.
Which is crazy because he had this whole future with her planned out, but it's really all about the gold.
It is. But yeah, so you could look at it from that point of view. I guess it illustrates something about him. But for me, it was just another example of this bleak world where all heroism is wasted and no heroic act is rewarded or results in anything positive.
That's unfortunate. We have a scene where Carlos and the other boys are helping remove the shards from Owl's back. Then they go to the doctor to tell him that they've removed it all, but he's still bleeding pretty badly. This is when they hear a car approaching. They think it's Conchita, and she's found help. They turn the music on. They stand up, and it's Jacinto and his two associates. They think, oh, no, the doctor's lied because he's standing tall like he's ready for them. And so they drive away, and they say, well, wait, we'll return later. And the doctor and the boys are happy for a moment. The boys are downstairs gathering all kinds of food. They're grabbing potatoes. And then the other two boys are taking him up to feed the people, and I guess Carlos stays to get a little bit more, and this is where Santi visits him again. Carlos says he isn't afraid anymore, and he's ready to talk to him. Jaime's with the doctor looking out for the car to come back when Jaime notices the doctor has already died. He closes his eyes for him. He doesn't do a really good job, though, because they're open again later. Carlos speaks with Santi, and Santi tells him to bring Jacinto to where he died. And Carlos agrees. He says, I'll help you with that task. And that's when he gets back to the doctor. He's yelling that he saw Santi. He sees the doctor's dead. And then we see Jacinto is already there. He has a shotgun in his hands, and he has Jaime in his grasp. And he says that the doctor was stubborn. Even in death, he had to break his fingers to get the shotgun out of his hand. And then we see a scene where the three men are supervising the kids digging out the safe from the rubble. And then Jacinto's just an ass and rubs it in. He gives Jaime the ring that he gave.
Oh, yeah. Just so he knows he killed her.
Yeah, killed Conchita. I thought they're just like, what a dick move. Like, gotta be a dick. Then they lock all the boys in this room while all the adults attempt to get in the safe. And while they're out there using the tools, the boys are making a plan to get out the window. Jaime tells the boys that Jacinto is the one that killed Santi, not him, and they need to make a plan to get out of here. Galvez points out that they're a lot bigger and they have a shotgun. Jaime pulls out a long stick. There's a barrel full of them. It shows the kids how to sharpen the sticks. They make a plan to get Galvez to go outside the window. As he's doing it, he's still removing glass so he doesn't cut himself, but the drop is too far. They lower him, but when he lands, his foot breaks.
I don't know if it breaks, but he certainly sprains his ankle.
It was swollen like crazy.
If you sprain it really bad, that'll happen.
Okay, all right.
It could be either one.
The three men get the safe open now, but there's nothing inside but photographs and old souvenirs. The boys are trying to decide who will go next to get Galvez, and we see that floating blackness that means the ghost is near. But this time we see it's Dr. Cáceres. We don't see his whole being, but we see enough of him with the outfit to know that that's him.
I love when they don't show you more than you need.
You don't need it, right?
I love that.
And then the door just unlocks. And when they get out there, Galvez tells them the doctor opened the door and told them that they'll be all right as long as they're brave. When they look down, they see the bloody handkerchief of the doctor. The three men are warming near the fire while one of the men is complaining that there's no gold here. Jacinto is going through a notebook of memories that Carmen kept of him growing up. Jacinto shows them a picture of him as a baby and his parents, and he apparently is blurred in the photo because he couldn't stop moving. And then he has another picture of him in 1925, and it reads, the caption in the back says, "How lonely a prince without a kingdom." And Jacinto tells them that he saw the gold. He knows it's here. We just got to keep looking. And they tell them, what are we going to do with the kids? And Jacinto says, the kids have no parents. No one's going to miss them. We just need to kill them. It'll be a small blip in the war. People die.
Yeah.
And then as the kids approach, you hear one of the men saying that, burn the place down, kill all the kids. But either way, we're leaving tomorrow. They don't think there's any gold. They think he made it up. The next day, the two men are telling Jacinto that they need stuff from the car. And as they go, Jacinto finds the gold in Carmen's prosthetic leg. And as he finds it,
which makes a lot of sense because earlier in the movie when they had been leaving, she had looked pained and someone asked her what was wrong. She said, "Nothing, my leg's just even heavier than usual today."
Yeah, that was Alma asking her that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That was good. I was like, oh, yeah. Right. The moment he finds the gold, the car starts and he runs after them and he's like, fine, whatever. All the gold's for me. So he goes in, he starts tying the gold up in like a sack made of cloth. He ties that to his belt, and then some bars he puts in his pocket. And that is where the kids come up. They're like, "Hey, son of a bitch." And then they run to get him to chase him. I don't know how they say it in Spanish, but those are the subtitles. So they lead him to the pit. And there's a couple kids lined up with sticks, and he laughs. Like, he's holding a shotgun, they have sticks. He's like, what a joke. And this is where out of the corner, Jaime comes up, stabs him under the armpit.
Yeah.
He's like, ah! And then the other kids start taking turns stabbing him. They kick the shotgun away. The kids have him lined up to the edge of the pool, and they push him over to the water. The weight of the gold is holding him down. He's struggling to untie it. I'm like, dude, take the belt off.
Right, yeah, really.
But he's taking the gold out of his pockets first. The gold's too heavy, and he can't escape. And then Sante's ghost appears, hugs him, and pulls him down further in the water.
And I'm not even sure it was the ghost. I think it was like Sante's original body.
You think... Oh, okay.
I think it was Sante's body temporarily reanimated to pull him under. I could be wrong.
That's pretty cool. That's more interesting than I read it, but that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then we see more blood and bubbles come to the surface, just like when Sante died, mirroring of that image.
Yeah.
Carlos returns the handkerchief to the doctor's body and walks off crying. As the kids are leaving, we have the same voiceover as before. He's asking the same question. Is a ghost bug stuck in amber? All that poetic stuff.
And no, it's me.
It's me. I'm the ghost. Like, oh, okay.
There's a ghost at the end of this movie.
It's not the one we thought. Like the kids' books.
There's a monster at the end of this book.
That's awesome. Oh, that's funny. All right. I'm trying to think of anything else I saw. The ghosts here, they were inspired by the Japanese horror films, The Grudge and The Ring, or Ringu and Ju-on, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
They're inspired for the ghost. But the film title refers to the medical condition of spinal bifida.
Yeah.
Which is, it's gross. I don't like looking at those pictures.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. And Guillermo del Toro was working on this film for 16 years.
That's too long.
It's too long. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it was just so bleak and so dreary. And, you've got that final scene at the end where the kids all their caretakers are dead.
Yeah.
Right? They're limping off into the desert, like hoping to make it the day's journey or whatever to the next city in impoverished Spain. There's a war going on. No one's going to care about them. They're going to be homeless kids trying to survive in Franco's Spain.
Yeah, unfortunate.
And I just felt like okay, so everything was pointless. Like you'd probably be better off dead.
Yeah.
Honestly, like nothing was achieved by all that heroism. And I think this is a very much a Guillermo del Toro thing. Is like the only salvation is that at least they punished the bad guy, which I don't care about.
Yeah.
Like, and I just feel like everything is hopeless and pointless, and there's not much beauty in the movie really at all. And it's very slow and honestly kind of boring, and I just didn't like it.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, compared to Pan's Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth was definitely way better.
Yeah, I didn't like this one.
One thing I thought was interesting, I couldn't get out of my head the entire movie. The kid that plays Carlos looked like the Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio, to me, like a younger Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, okay.
He did to me. It was driving me crazy. The whole time in my notes, I wanted to write Ralph Macchio then. But it's just funny.
The quote-unquote Chinese guy, turns out he survived execution. He's actually Japanese, and he's from Okinawa.
That's funny.
And then
oh, man.
Carlos-san, I will train you.
Sure. The kid that played Santi played him for most of the film, but actually had to take some time off because all the scenes in water, he had problems with water in his ears. So he had to be taken to the hospital, and another kid had to come in to do like 10% of his scenes.
Weird.
To fill it in. That was crazy. Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for talking about this movie. I'm glad we kind of got to do a pair of his movies, but yeah, this was not as great as the other one.
It was not. Too bad he spent 16 years on it. He could have done something else.
Yeah, right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Please reach out to us if you'd like to. We're on Instagram at Nightmare Echoes Pod. If you'd like to reach us by email, we're at nightmareechoespod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you'll hear us in the next episode. Bye.